Artificial Punctuated Equilibrium, presented by David R. Wood. Artificial Punctuated Equilibrium. Quote, Darwinian evolution is a force of continuous change. By contrast, punctuated equilibrium suggests that evolution occurs as a series of bursts of evolutionary change. Today we are seeing a burst of evolutionary change, a mass extinction of corporations, and a mass speciation of new kinds of companies. End quote. Thomas Siebel, Digital Transformation. Some existing constraints powerfully shape the competitive dynamics in a particular competitive space. This restricts the competitive possibilities of that space. We can call these types of constraints keystone constraints. Keystone constraints function like the keystone of an arch. For example, access to large amounts of computational power was such a constraint prior to the advent of cloud services. The emergence of artificial punctuated equilibrium due to rapid advances in technology is a recurring pattern in human history. Humanity has repeatedly reached the limits of its technology and then become constrained. But humanity has consistently technologically innovated and removed these limitations. The ensuing change has often led to a form of technological, artificial, punctuated equilibrium. Today, digital artificial punctuated equilibrium is an extreme form of digital disruption. As Thomas Siebel stated in his book, Digital Transformation, quote, when science and technology meet social and economic systems, you tend to see something like punctuated equilibrium. Something that has been stable for a long period suddenly disrupts radically and then finds a new stability. Examples include the discovery of fire, the domestication of dogs, agriculture, gunpowder, the chronograph, transoceanic transportation, the Gutenberg press, the steam engine, and the internet. End quote. Digital disruption occurs when digital technologies remove or partially remove that technological keystone constraint. This causes new competitive possibilities to emerge within a competitive space, e.g., in industry, theater of war, etc. Organizations inevitably aggressively exploit these new competitive possibilities. This leads to the development of new competitive dynamics in the competitive space. These new competitive dynamics gradually favor some organizations over others in the fullness of time. This ultimately leads to significant changes in strategic positioning within competitive spaces. But unlike digital disruption, digital artificial punctuated equilibrium happens not gradually, but rapidly. In fact, it happens so rapidly, it creates extreme volatility in the existing competitive dynamics. As a result, this becomes an immediate extinction threat within the competitive space. Those organizations that cannot adapt fast enough either lose significant strategic positioning or go extinct. This is an artificial variation on how punctuated equilibrium occurs in the natural world. Artificial punctuated equilibrium is not only limited to technological advancements, it also applies to scientific discoveries that are an extreme disruption to all existing scientific knowledge that predated it. Human geniuses have again and again used their imagination to leap humanity's scientific understanding of the world and the universe forward. Their intuitions have broken with existing dogma to set a new artificial trajectory for human thought. The scientific revolution that began in the 16th century altered the trajectory of Homo sapiens' artificial evolution. Scientific thought replaced the concepts of the ancient Greeks with empiricism. The industrial revolutions over the last 300 years are the result of this shift in thought. No one can argue with the results of this rapid acceleration in artificial evolution. Most prominent of these results are nuclear power, the internet, and now artificial intelligence. However, empiricism is an artificial adaptation which comes with an accompanying constraint. It discovers new scientific knowledge incrementally, building on existing knowledge. Has anyone considered that this is also a constraint on the power of our imagination? This is a constraint that Albert Einstein did not have when he discovered the theory of relativity. Einstein caused a leap forward in artificial evolution with the power of his true belief, conceived by the power of his imagination. There was another such genius born in India, a young man named Srinivasa Ramanujan, who obsessed desire with mathematics. As Joseph Chibelli described him in his book, How the Mind Changed, quote, his interest in mathematics had become an obsession, and he spent nearly all his free time solving theorems and discovering new ones intuitively. Ramanujan was a man of untrammeled genius, transforming 20th century mathematics and contributing to the fields of virtually unheard of in their lifetime, including quantum computing and black hole research. End quote. Ramanujan possessed a powerful imagination that was driven by his burning desire. He had no formal education as he basically failed out of school, but he was able to imagine things far beyond the existing artificial genome of his time. Ramanujan practiced the process of imagination without the constraints of empiricism. His ideas were a form of artificial punctuated equilibrium. He disrupted and then altered the course of Homo sapiens' artificial evolution. An awesome achievement. This is the power of imagination, to form true beliefs that enable us to intellectually leap far beyond the limits of existing scientific knowledge. It is the difference between the theories of Charles Darwin's incremental evolution and Jay Gould's natural punctuated equilibrium.